Good morning. The title of my presentation today is Students' Perceptions on Online Learning. The purpose of this paper is to explore students' views of online learning, with the focus on examining students' preference for the type of learning mode to be adopted when they are in a position to return to the campus. That is after the COVID-19 pandemic situation has improved. The present study uses a framework known as Technology Acceptance Model, in short TAM or TAM. And this model is originally proposed by Davis, 1989. The model describes the factors that determine the acceptance of the use of computers and pertinent technologies in various technologies and user groups. So as we can see here that figure 1 shows the technology acceptance model, which consists of 6 elements starting with external factors, and these external factors can affect perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, and then attitude to use, behavior, intention, and actual usage. Now, the present study opts for the qualitative research method alongside the quantitative one. Therefore, this is a mixed method study. Now, the qualitative research method can help to get greater understanding of experiences. And to achieve this, the present study uses an interview. So as mentioned, an interview was carried out to obtain insight into the students' perceptions and views on their preferred choice of learning mode to be adopted when they are in a position to return to the campus. Students' responses have been transcribed into the written form from the interview recordings. Examples of students' responses as presented in the present study comprise students' original and exact statements. Thus, these statements may contain grammatical mistakes. Participants and recruitment. 41 undergraduate students from a local university were recruited for an interview. Results and discussion. Now, the following, also see table 1 in the next page, presents the percentage of students who have opted for their most preferred learning mode to be adopted when they return to the campus. 61%, that is 25 out of 41 respondents, indicated that they would prefer the hybrid learning mode. A hybrid learning mode consists of a combinations of online and face-to-face learning. Now, all right, next. 39%, that is 16 out of 41, indicated that they would prefer the full face-to-face learning mode, and no participant noted that they would opt for full online learning mode. Now, table 1 shows types of learning mode preferred by students, as well as the frequencies and percentage of students who select their preferred choice of learning mode. Now, reasons provided by students for their preferred choice of learning mode. To start with, the hybrid learning mode. All right. Certain courses need more practical exposure. Okay, some of the respondents indicated that they prefer the hybrid approach because it gives an alternative to courses that need practical practices. Now, one respondent noted, okay, I preferred half online learning when I'm back to the campus. Okay, now this halfly online learning refers to the learning part, sorry, the online learning part, okay, in the hybrid mode. Yeah. Okay, some lab assessments require technical skills that is needed by the industry. Although the online learning sometimes could drag some time because of technical problems and late participations of students, yet I could save up the time from transportations, reading the lecture notes online, and whenever I have questions, I could hand up in a forum from the university website. It encourages my learning process as well as reduces the risk of exposure. All right. Another reason, saving time, eco-friendly and convenient when using online learning at the same time. So again, this refer to the online part in the hybrid learning mode. All right. So the participants note that online learning in the hybrid mode will suit those programs that do not need many practical exposures for students. At the same time, by doing the courses online, they can save some time for not needing to travel to and from classes. And thus, this helps them to learn conveniently from the comfort of their home. Some of them do think that the fact that they need not use hard copies makes online learning eco-friendly. Now, these views are reflected in the following comments. All right, I will not read all the responses. Okay, due to constraint of time, right? Another reason is the internet service is quite expensive to afford. Yeah. Now, some respondents choose half online and half face to face. Okay, this refers to the hybrid learning mode. Yeah, as their preferred choice of learning mode by comparing the hybrid mode to fully online. So this decision is based on the reluctance to spend additional cost to subscribe the internet or Wi-Fi data and to buy electronic devices in order to access to the educational resources and to attend online classes. All right, and as stated by one respondent that she needs to face financial burden to have a better internet access, and another student noted that if they are going to continue with online classes, now an allowance for the internet fees would be helpful, as shown in the following comments. All right. Another reason, poor access to the internet in rural areas. The same student continued that her preference for half online and half face-to-face learning mode, okay, instead of full online, right, is also due to her concern for students who live in rural areas which have low or no accessibility of the internet, yeah, as reflected in her statement that this is also not fair for those students staying in rural areas. So another reason is COVID-19 standard operation procedure concern. So here some respondents are of the view that a hybrid learning will provide an alternative, that is to replace a fully face-to-face class with at least partly online as a preventive measure against the spread of COVID-19 when the pandemic situation has not fully recovered upon their return to the campus. Now, in support of this view, some respondents indicate the following. All right. Okay. A completely face-to-face learning mode. Now, following the hybrid learning mode, the next preferred learning mode is completely face-to-face. Now, as shown in Table 1, that 16 out of 41 students, that is 39% of the students, prefer to continue their studies using the completely face-to-face learning mode. Okay, reason given, clear explanation and instant response from lecturer. So respondents are in the view that face-to-face learning is effective due to the fact that students are able to hear lectures clearly and directly ask and answer lecturer's questions, as noted by a student as follows. Another reason, more interactions between lecturers and students. Now, some respondents prefer classroom-based learning, which is face-to-face learning in the class, because they believe it provides the means to chat with friends and lecturers directly and not in front of a screen. They also believe that face-to-face is more interactive than online learning or e-learning. Now, similarly, another respondent fears that through face-to-face classes, he can learn more effectively as there are more interactions between lecturers and students, and he would get the chance to interact with the lecturers. So it can be seen that this group of respondents does not find synchronous form of e-learning. Okay, synchronous means that form of learning where participants can interact with their peers and instructors instantly through online platform. So they do not find this form of e-learning as effective as direct interaction in a physical classroom. So the above phenomenon is reflected in the following comments. Another reason, good solution for poor internet connections. All right. These are the responses given. Now, as shown in the data tabulation in Table 1, no respondent has chosen fully online learning as their preferred choice of learning mode. Now, this could be due to two main reasons as emerged in the interview data, as presented earlier, namely high cost incurred to subscribe the internet data to access to online classes and poor or low internet connectivity at particular areas, especially at rural areas. So it can be seen from the interview data, respondents have both positive and negative views about online learning. Now, the positive views on online learning have encouraged them to opt for more online learning in the future or in the near future, and the negative views have caused them to opt for less online learning. Now, by the principle of thumb model, external factors are said to affect the perceived usefulness and the perceived ease of use. And these two elements further affect the attitude, be it negative or positive feelings, one forms towards e-learning according to the authors. Now, the findings have demonstrated how attitudes, both negative and positive, have influenced respondents' decisions to use e-learning. The findings of the present study shows that hybrid learning mode is most preferred, and their attitudes are contributed by the external factors they experienced when they went through the full online classes for one semester, that is from March to October 2020. So the conclusion is an adapted thumb models emerged from the findings of the present study. All right, as we can see here, as in the findings, okay, um, internet accessibility, institutional support, and COVID-19 pandemic are the three main external factors then that contribute to affecting the perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use of students. And these two elements further affects attitude to use, behavior intention, and the actual usage of online learning. Okay, I have come to the end of my presentation. Thank you.